Welcome back to Magical Mondays. So, this week we're working with dragon energy. So, I do have some notes, but I took them on my phone, so bear with me. I'm going to be reading off of them because I channeled it last Friday. So, to actually get this out on Monday. Okay, so who we were working with this week, who was coming through, was the dragons. And a big feeling that I was getting when I was recording this, like channeling this message for this week, was smoke. There's a lot of things that you guys have not been seeing. Now, that's been a theme across the last few Magical Mondays, to be honest, but there's a lot of things that we're not able to be seen clearly until now. It's very much a like tripping you up energy, purposely confusing you energy. And what you started off with thinking was the problem, and where you're at, two very different things. Anything you can do around bringing through clarity this week would be ideal. Any self reflection, journaling, anything like that. Anything that makes you work through a process to get somewhere would be highlighted. So illusions are clearing this week, but the question is, like, there's fire. Is it healing or is it destroying? There's a sense of things being leveled, and it might feel like it's both. And this is not to like fear monger or anything like that. This is a week about purification. So all you need to know is that it's gonna go away. Whatever the issue is, it'll be clear by the end of the week. The tools you need to be able to navigate it are going to be clear by the end of the week. So, whatever it looks like now is not really a huge concern. It's just allowing the fire to burn it through. Expect a lot of things to feel like they're collapsing, but there's a lot of truth and there's a lot of inner power coming through. Where in the last few weeks have you felt out of control, powerless, at the mercy of circumstances of others or other things going on in your life? This is really going to tell you where this energy is working. They mentioned seeing deeper themes of why everything this month has been happening. It's all been leading up to a greater purpose. Everything we saw in February and in January is kind of coming up roses now. There's a sense of it finally being able to be seen, finally being able to be worked at, but they really want to pay attention to how much they had to trick you for you to let go of a narrative, for you to let go of a belief, for you to let go of the things that you weren't willing to see. Now, if you're someone who's self-reflective, this might have been faster than it was for other people, but for a lot of people, it's been difficult long term. It's been guessing, trying to figure things out, pouring energy into all the wrong places. And there's one thing that Spirit always circles me back to: the answers you need are within you. The answers you need are not with someone else, they're within your own framework, they're within your own life. And the more you get clear on what does this have to do with me, what does this have to do with my role, what's my role in this, the clearer and clearer things will get for you. But if you're pointing the finger at other people and you're not willing to look at what your role in something is, you're going to have a harder time. And that's okay, but just be aware of that pattern, because it's not easy to navigate. It's a lot of resistant energy when you're just unwilling to see the truth about something. It generates so much energy in the opposite direction that makes it actually really difficult for you to get the clarity. And that might be why, if you struggle with constantly going back and forth, why you might be doing that. Okay, so you're going to see some things starting to open up, starting to blossom, starting to bloom, that you might have thought there was no possibility of those things working out. But you're going to need to put out all the little mini fires. So anything that we figure out with Spirit, there's something underneath it. You might get to one truth and you're like, oh, that's it. But then there's all the little things that were holding it up. That's really what you're going to be seeing this week. So make sure you take the time to put out all those little fires. Maybe it's organizing your time. Maybe it's organizing your space. There might be a lot of like small tending being needed in things in your life. So, as mentioned, we work with the dragons of purification. They're working at creating a purified ground for you to build on. Foundation is like the buzzword of the energy right now. We're really looking at everywhere in life where the foundation is not correct, where things can't grow. They can't grow. The reason why things aren't working out in your life is because the foundation is not appropriate. All the answers you need are actually there. They're in the framework, they're in the groundwork, they're in the limiting beliefs that built you up here. Everything that you're going through, it's because of something not correct in the foundation that's wanting to be exposed. So foundations in your relationships, foundations in your friendships, foundations in your career, in your biz, in your job, and whatever it is you do, in your home even, that's really standing out to me right now. That's where the answers are, not outside of you in What is this trying to show me? So the dragons of purification are basically blowing fire all over the place to clear the noise. That's really what their role is energetically. They're doing it to restore inner power. So you might find this week to be really empowering. Now that you've kind of gotten a grasp on what's been going wrong, you might really be able to gain actual clarity and forward movement, which we love that. It's been challenging to get that forward movement right now. So you should be able to see what that stable ground looks like and what it needs from you. And I would say that this is the most important thing you're going to learn throughout this year's astrology. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I would say the foundation you build now is what takes you where you go next. And if you really want it to succeed, then you really need to be willing to look at where that foundation is not actually supporting you. And the reasons it's not supporting you, you might, for example, be like, oh, I don't have the resources, I don't have this. It all comes down to energy management. It all comes down to where your energy is leaking out, where it's not organized, where it's going that it shouldn't be going. That would be a place worth looking at right now. And if you need energy management tools, Energy Mastery can help you with that. That's my program of energy work, and it's built for doing exactly this: cleaning up the mess, managing the energy, getting it to a straight shot, protecting your energy, and cutting out noise. So you can find the link in the description below. When you do have the proper ground, those intentions are actually going to be successful. And that was something that was really big coming through with the dragons this week. You want to do things in a way that is how you want to feel. A lot of us are getting all kinds of tangled up. Like, I want to make this amount of money per year. I want this car. I want this house. I want this. I want that. The dragons are illustrating alignment. Intention and alignment have been coming through my channel like crazy. And all the individual channeling I do, and all the sessions that I do, and all the stuff like this I do. Alignment, foundation. They've been huge. So has luck, right? But right now we're talking about that foundational aspect. And luck is great, but it doesn't secure a foundation when the foundation's broken, you know? So luck can add to it, but they really want you to focus on intention. So what the dragons asked for you guys this week is, how do you want to feel? You should get a pen and paper, and you should look at every area of your life and write out how you want to feel. Because there are a lot of timelines open right now, and we're moving through them really fast. You might not even be noticing. I woke up today knowing I was in a different one, and I was like, ooh, I love this for me. But I've been doing that foundational work, right? So if you're doing that foundational work, it'll find you. And you might have woken up today or sometime this week, or you might wake up sometime this week, just knowing that you've cleared something really powerful, really important for yourself. And that's why they want to look at how you want to feel. What you want in terms of things might not actually be what you want, because we have projections. We have ego projections on everything that we create. Like, I want my business to look this way. I want it to look this way. But what if in creating what you wanted it to look like, it's not aligned with you? It's not aligned with your life mission. It's not aligned with what your gifts are, or what you're supposed to be doing. Then it's never going to work. But if you align it with how you want to feel, then the circumstances for that proper alignment will be created from the get-go. So let's say in your business, let's use two different examples. You want to calibrate to, I use business because it's the easiest one for me because I'm a business owner, but apply this to where you would like. Let's say you're using a business, easy one to explain. You might be really looking at, okay, I want to make like $300K a year or something, whatever your number is, right? You're looking at that. But for you to manifest 300K, within that space you're giving yourself might make you feel real shitty. In which case it's not aligned. It's not sustainable. It can't carry you. The emphasis is on things that can carry you right now. The things that will just let you, and I mentioned this last week, go and like gallop forward with all the speed because everything is lined up for you. They mentioned last week, getting things lined up so you could just take off and run. That's all foundation, my friend. That is all foundation. So if your foundation is set up for this, then you're just going to be able to take off running and everyone else is going to be stuck in the mud. If you're stuck in the mud, which a lot of people are, look at how you want to feel. So take a paper and go through every area of your life and write out how you'd like to feel. Again, if we use business as an example, like if I wanted to run my business a certain way, I'd want to feel fulfilled. I would want to feel resourced. I'd want to feel like I have a full cup. I would want to feel like there's reciprocity, like I'm getting back what I put in. I would want there to be ample leisure time, low stress, low conflict. Like, paint that picture because it's easier for you to make that amount of money in the alignment box I'm looking at right now. so much easier because one, you'll enjoy doing it, so it'll be faster, and two, it'll have the room for you to take off running. So if I were you, I would sit down with a piece of paper, write out every area of your life, and I would kind of petition it to your spirit guides. I would basically say something like, hey, spirit guides, this is how I want to feel. I am updating my contracts. Key. I'm updating my contracts in this area of my life. This is how I want to feel. Align me to this. And then don't touch anything for like 7 days. So what I mean by that is you will have done a quantum jump in that moment. You will have done a quantum leap. And when you do a quantum leap, you want to just take care of yourself really well. No drama, no stress, because you're moving between for like the next 7 days. These things have to be written, right? They don't, sometimes they do if there's space for them, but most of the time they have to be written and they have to be like weaved within the universe. And this is why sometimes our manifestations can be real quick and other times there's a lot of shit to clear. So it's like 6 months or there's a lot of different people that gotta line up for it or all of that. There's a lot of different factors. A lot of people think it's just God give me this. It's not. There's a lot more to it because reality is a very large thing that people don't think about. So I would petition them. I would say, hey, spirit guides, this is what I want. I need your direct intervention. I need you to move me. I need you to align me to that reality. And then just do a lot of meditating, spend a lot of time in the sun over like the next 7 days. Wear colors that make you feel really good. Be with people that lift you up. Take good care of your energy. And just don't worry about anything. Things get messy when things start to move. When things are moving, it's an indication you've done something right. So don't worry about it if things look like a mess. They're supposed to. Okay, so that's their advice for you. They want you to do anything that can make you feel really good about yourself right now. So like subliminals. If you're doing this quantum leaping, you have to believe it. So if you're like trying to bridge between the version of you who you are now and the version of you who has what you want, you have to feel like them. So subliminals that kind of mirror the emotions you put out. Like let's say you're wanting to feel well resourced, you might want to try an abundance subliminal that's like, I get everything I need, I never have to try, everything always works out for me, like that kind of stuff, because that's the mindset that will hold everything up. And so you need that. So subliminals, sleep tapes, I have some sleep tapes and energy mastery, all that kind of stuff, really useful right now, especially for that 7 days of moving around that might happen. It might be shorter, might be longer. You'll know by how you feel. But you'll know that you've done it successfully when you feel really good when you wake up in the morning, but you have to hold on to that. So keep that up for a little while. And anything that is like a highest timeline activator, something like that, would be really useful to use here. I have some stuff in energy mastery. Surprise. Okay. So that foundational layer is being built really deeply right now. Let's see, anything else that... Okay, so one thing they did mention was Archangelic presence is like really, really heavy right now. If you need anything, ask. If it's beauty, ask Archangel Jophiel. If it's peace, ask Archangel Chemiel. If it's healing, ask Archangel Raphael. If it's justice, ask Archangel Michael. If it's timeline alignment, ask Archangel Metatron. If you have any questions about what archangels to ask for whatever, put them in the comments. I'll help you. I love archangels. They work with them. I work with them really deeply. So if that's something you need, I got you. I can help line you up. But they're here to help you create. What a lot of people don't understand is these beings, they're benevolent to a degree that we cannot understand. They have unconditional love. We don't. And so people are like, I don't want to ask because it's a lot to ask. Good. They enjoy that. That's why they're here. So if you need to ask for something, do it. Because they are here to help you succeed. What you want is probably tied to your soul mission in some way because you wouldn't want it otherwise. So those people who are like, oh, I want to make $300 million. Yeah, it might actually be aligned to you. That might actually be why you want it. So it doesn't, selfishness that we have, it doesn't really exist over there. So ask for what you want and they're going to help you and show you what you need to do to get it. They're going to show you the movements. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but they will show you what you need to do and they will help you secure what you need. Okay. So now just the symbols and the usual stuff, the animals of the week and the creatures were obviously dragons. The scent was anything smoky. Anything with a hint of smoke would be ideal. Like smoky, sultry, powerful. People should feel you when you walk into a room. Not smell you, but feel you. It's like an aura. The scent adds an aura. So you want something with good projection if you're wearing a perfume of the week, so to speak. I love perfume, so that's why I include it. So let's see. What else? Food, they mentioned spicy food, if you can tolerate it. Spicy food, clearing food, but with a lot of like stuff that helps the digestive system. So like curries would be excellent for purging, clearing, setting the stage on the body, and like nourishment. And tarot cards, they mentioned the Tower and the High Priestess. And colors, they mentioned red, but they also mentioned anything jewel toned. So, like jewel tone green, jewel tone purple, jewel tone yellow, all of that would be fine. The other color that they mentioned was pale yellow. And yeah, they want strikingness and confidence. So, let's see what we're looking at in terms of energy. Okay, what are we looking at for the collective this week, guys? What are we looking at for the collective this week? All right, let's get started here. So, the Ten of Swords reverse. Again, purification. There is something being moved out. There's probably a lot of things being moved out. I've seen it with a lot of my clients in the last week. Like, there's a lot of things that are like ending, capping off, and moving out. But they're really productive. They're really deep. They're far reaching. The things that are ending right now are the things in the way of the next, like the next level you, of the next version of you. So it's good that they're ending. As much as it sucks, it's good. And it doesn't mean that it has to be like a permanent break. It just means the form, the energy container that the friendships, relationships, businesses, blah, 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 we're in, the container's not right. It just needs to be rebuilt. So when it's rebuilt, and I would look at things that deal with foundations right now. If you follow me on this channel, you'll see that I have an identity transmission that I made with Sophia. And Sophia recalibrates the codes of things. Her job is sacred geometry and coding. So she's literally like the fabric of the universe. She's in everything. Like everything that is built, all of the energies, she's in it. Which means she can really help you return to like the source aligned blueprint of something. So I do have one for identity that's listed on my channel. It's a long transmission and it is a healing and activation, so it can work for that. And if you follow me on Insight Timer, there is one, and I'll link it below, that is the Well of Replenishment. And the Well of Replenishment is quite good for restoring what was deeply depleted. So not only does Sophia help you restore what needs to be restored, she also sets the stage for what needs to come in that divine reciprocity for you to actually have full alignment in your life and actually have the resources you need. So if you follow me on Insight Timer, it's there, and both of these things are in Energy Mastery. So if you follow me there, you'll be able to access them. But endings, clear out, being released. It's like the swords are coming out of your back and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't see that. Yeah, it's not always an easy thing, but it's a good thing. Now, the other thing that they're looking at is the Queen of Wands. Confidence, power is necessary. A lot of you guys are going to be called into a divine pathway right now. That's why the purification needed to happen. It was setting you up for something. Some of you might see new jobs, new relationships. Some of you might see new career paths opening. A lot of healers are going to see like new modalities or activations, downloads, things like that coming in right now. So just be in your confidence. Trust that whatever is being delivered right now is for you. It's for you. And, you know, take a chance on it because it is really powerful. You need to be in your bold, your confident, your magnetic, your charismatic energy. Now let's see what else we got here. The Queen of Swords. The problem is you don't trust it. So when this energy comes through, you're like, but I've tried that. But I've done it before. You didn't have the same alignment you do now. Sometimes things can't work because the odds, the energies are stacked against you in an area of life. Sometimes that's why it didn't work. Now that that's cleaned out, you have a full speed ahead kind of road. So all the things that you tried and maybe didn't see succeed, you should revisit if you feel called to. Give it a chance, see what comes out. I certainly have a lot of this in my life right now, so I can validate that that's what's going down. Okay, so the Seven of Cups. There might still be some confusion. That's kind of really coming through here. There might still be like this sense of, yeah, but I want to try this. I want to make it look that way. Use the identity transmission. Use it. I swear it will help you. Use it like twice this week. You don't want to repeat that one every day. It's pretty heavy, but you'll want to repeat it often because it'll bring the codes in. One of the reasons I channel that in on my days off, I might add, because the universe was like, this needs to happen right now. And I was like, oh, okay. I see how it is. But now that I'm looking at this, I get why. We need to be in resonance right now. We need to be in that Queen of Wands shit. We need to be in that power, that's sovereignty, that this is who we are, this is what we do, this is my walk, this is my mission. And so when you're in that, you have no question about what you should do. No question. You just know. If you're not there, you need clarity. So if you're looking at things like the Seven of Cups right now and you're like, well, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. That's all projection. That's all projection. It's not alignment, it's projection. It's when you're thinking about what you should do instead of getting clear and owning what you should do deep inside of yourself. Because you're not supposed to make decisions from here. You're supposed to let source guide you, because when you do, those things are automatically aligned. And if you don't know the difference in how source is guiding you versus how you're guiding you, then all you need is clarity. And so you would want to do something like the identity transmission, because that's what it does. It brings you clarity. It gets you reconnected. It moves out all the distortions that are in the way right now. And it really allows you to lock in. So that would really be what I would be looking at if I were you right now. If you're not knowing what you need to do, that's where I would start. And let's see. Of course, the Ace of Swords. Now, clarity is the breakthrough. The breakthrough is that there's a part of you that is fighting off source. There's a part of you that's fighting intuition because you don't want to be seen a certain way. There's always a truth underneath all of this stuff. And that truth for you right now is, I don't want to be seen that way. I don't want to take up space that way. I don't want to look like that. That's what's blocking you. It's what's blocking you from the success you want. It's what's blocking you from what's next for you. And so you can try to go around all the other ways around it that you want. But if you do, you're just going to end up back here anyway. And you're just going to have even more narratives about how nothing works out for you and everything is difficult and nothing is making sense. Again, what you tried before, it wasn't aligned because you weren't. You do things like the identity transmission, you give it a little bit of time, you create the space. It'll work. It'll work because it has room. A lot of things are not just about alignment. They're about the space in your life that you have to hold them. Like, I've gone through this a lot with various medical issues that I've had throughout my time doing flora fauna, where I would try to manifest the crap out of something and I'd get so mad that it didn't work out, only to realize my health where it couldn't support it. It didn't mean that it was bad or I wasn't good enough or anything like that. It just meant I didn't have the space. And so when I built a space, when I took ownership and I went, okay, well, how do I make the space? That's when I got what I needed. And it turned out better than I wanted. It's just the space is really important. The space and your ability to hold and sustainability is so much more important than I can explain to you. So I need you to just soak that in. And if you're dealing with the Seven of Cups, look for clarity. And if you're like, I've already asked for clarity and I can't find it, energy work. You're not finding clarity because every time clarity comes in, you go, not that way. Can't be that. No, I already tried that. That didn't work. Yeah, I know. I've been that person. But you really want to be like, okay, get mad at your spirit guides. I know I say this all the time. Get mad. Be like, look, I've tried to figure this out. I've tried to do it my way. I've tried to take your advice and it hasn't worked. Show me what does. Bring me what actually will bring me clarity. Bring me the tool. Don't bring me like fluffy stuff. Bring me the tool. Bring me the thing that will allow me to clear this energy out. And again, energy mastery. But it's tools you probably need. It's clarity you need. And you might not find it while asking questions because your third eye is just going to go ding, ding, ding. No, it can't be that. Ding, already tried that. Ding, that doesn't work. Ding, I don't want to be seen that way. Ding, ding. And that's just what's happening over and over. And so you might also need reconnection to source too. So again, if you need energy mastery, it's down in the link below. It has all kinds of tools on this. And if you want to know tools for your specific situation, leave them in a comment. But the identity transmission is also here on YouTube and it's free. So I would start there. Okay. What else, Spirit? What else can we expect this week? In terms of themes, what's going on for this collective? All right, let's start here then. Really, you're farther than you think. The Three of Wands, you're farther ahead than you think. You just don't see it. But this clearing work does so much more than you understand. This clearing work creates spaciousness, and that spaciousness is all that you needed to align and clarity. You might just need some micro tweaks to get what you want. It's not as deep as you think it is. And it's just because energy makes things look really heavy, and we tend to think of things in terms of reality, and we're like, oh, well, I would need this much to do that. No, you don't. You just need clarity. You just need space and clarity. And so when you create that space, then something will land in it. And when you specify to source what you want to go in that space, well, then that's what you're going to get. But if you don't specify and you create space, you might just not get exactly what you want. So specify. Specifying is important. We go back to that example the dragons gave at the beginning of like getting those specific spaces set up. The devil. Now, we're not mad about the devil. Why? Because the devil is self-imposed limitation. Let's say that again. Self-imposed. Self-imposed limitation. Where are you setting limits that there aren't limits? Where are you setting limits that don't actually exist? Where are you thinking that there are limits because you've experienced it before? And where are you putting limits on yourself and not trying? Things have changed. You have changed. Your alignment has changed. You've been doing some work, my friend. Powerful work. So you have room. And if you don't have room, you're about to create it. One of the things that I love doing with this, because I'm a very stubborn baddie, as you can probably tell, I'm very stubborn. And so when Spirit is like, Kayla, do this, and I'm like, no, I will ask them one question, and that's, show me what I'm not seeing. Show me what I'm not open to. Because that's the key. You're not open. You're not open to it happening that way. Like, for example, when I was trying to rent my studio, I was only open to a certain amount of rent. The minute that I stopped being open to it and went higher is the minute I landed it. Within like a week, because I wasn't open. And so this is, your openness really does matter, because your auric field is actually what attracts everything into you. So if I were you, I'd go, I have this problem. Every day when you wake up, go, Source, God, Spirit guides, I have this problem. I don't know how to solve it. I'm done trying to solve it on my own. I'm done. What am I not open to? What solutions am I not seeing that are actually available to me? What am I not willing to do? They'll tell you. Again, create space for that clarity, and that answer will land. Trust me. It's just you might not have the clarity right now. You might not have the space. Okay, so last but not least, the Wheel of Fortune. Good things are coming, whether you like them or not. That purification that you've been doing, sorry, I'm about to sneeze. That purification that you've been doing, it did something for you. You're about to be glowing. You are about to look so good in your body, in your life, and everything, because you did the work and you let it happen and you let go of what you needed to and you were honest with yourself and you created the space. So just keep doing it, because you're about to cross into something major. This is where it's about to land. Things have to be created in spirit, then they need space to land, then they land. You're creating the space right now. It's about to land. And it's active, so you should be seeing that pretty soon, probably within like the next couple of weeks, I would say. So all of the work you're doing is leading you somewhere really powerful, so just keep doing it. If you have any questions or you need any resources, again, comment and I will help you with whatever I can. But thank you for joining me as usual for Magical Mondays, and thanks for being here.